All right. Hello,
Oh, hey.
hello.
Oh,
I
hi,
had a few
Grace.
more hellos. How dare you interrupt me? How
I'm sorry.
dare you?
I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, Marzipan.
If
Well-
you are just listening, Marzipan joined us on the table that I record on, and now she has gone away. She doesn't like to stick around for very long.
It's always so excited. Like, I'm always freaking out and so excited that she's here. And then she's always gone 2 seconds later. She was right up in the camera and everything, too. But then my stupid metronome got in the way of you guys being able to see her. But she was here. She's still queer. And you know what? We love her.
We do love her, my little baby.
Well, how the heck are you? How the heck are you?
You know, I'm doing well. I've been working from home all day, and I have had no one to talk to and nothing to do but stare at a screen all day long. And I'm sure that you have had a similar experience today.
Yeah, no, it's that's a very typical day in the life, I must say. Just you know, whenever you ask like, "Oh, how you been?" I'm just like, you know, I woke up, I went from one room to the next, and I looked at a screen, made some lunch in the middle of that, went back to my screen, and here I am. I mean, like, I definitely prefer it to being in that. Like, the flexibility of working at home is so nice, but yeah. It all kind of blends into one day sometimes, but yeah, it's all right. Gas prices are a lot these days, so I'll save where I can.
That's true. It was really blowing my mind. And then I saw videos of LA and I was like, it's not that bad.
Yeah, maybe we're doing all right. Oh, God, I could not even. $6? No. Nope. I'm good. I'll deal with the cold.
That's okay.
Yeah. All right. Tall Girl 2. I can't believe you were willing to watch Tall Girl 2 this soon. I thought you would be beyond not okay with that.
Yeah, but we had to do it eventually, and I thought we should rip the Band-Aid. But you know what? I was pleasantly surprised. It didn't leave me in a horrid mood like last time. It wasn't that bad. You know?
I was going to say, I feel like overall, like, it's still not a good movie, obviously. But, like, I wasn't angry this time. I think this one was a little bit more self-aware, but I'd say instead of being angry at the end of watching it, I feel like I haven't seen anything. Like, it just kind of felt very like in one ear out the other kind of a deal. But I'm not mad. And you don't seem to be mad, which is a big shock to me.
Yeah, I'm not upset. I think yeah, it was different. You said, it was a little bit more self-aware, but we can get to that. So the synopsis for Tall Girl 2. Jodie Crayman.
She's big.
I did not know that was her last name.
Not at all.
Jodie deals with her newfound popularity. Her miscommunications, however, start causing rifts with those around her, and now she really needs to stand tall.
Oh, come on.
That's the whole synopsis. That's it. It has 63% on Rotten Tomatoes and 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb.
I feel like we should have. Could you double check real quick what those numbers were for the last one? I'm curious how it's like stacking up with those numbers in comparison to its first movie.
It wanted me to autofill Tall Girl 2 again. I'm looking for the first one from 2019.
Oh my God, come on.
Okay, so it's kind of flipped for the first one. So it had 38% on Rotten Tomatoes and 5.2 out of 10 on IMDb. So it went from 38% to 63%, but it has only been out for a day short of a month.
Yeah. So there definitely were some numbers. Like, of course, I looked up what the budget was, but like, there's no box office numbers. First of all, it is a Netflix movie, so that is kind of a tough number to get, but also it has only been out for a month. But it was funny. I looked it up anyways, even though I knew it probably wouldn't be there. But first of all, I don't know if I mentioned it, but the budget was $24.4 million.
For the second one?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. That's a lot of money.
I know. But again, I tried looking up box office numbers just to see if there was any idea, but of course there wasn't. But I thought it was so funny. I like ended up on this website that's called like the-numbers.com. And for whatever reason, it was like, so we don't have the box office numbers. However, we would compare it to the Shrek franchise. And I was like, what? How?
That's amazing. I just thought it
was so funny that they were like, this movie is similar to Shrek 2. And I was like, no, it's not.
Well, did you watch it all the way through and get the first recommended movie after that? Because it was Shrek 2 on Netflix. That was the next recommended movie that I had after finishing it.
No, I didn't make it all the way through the Backstreet Boys singing moment at the end. No, I did not.
I skipped, but that.
Wow. No, I didn't make it through the dancing montage. I just said, well, that's it. That'll do it. Like as soon as the first credit came up, I was like, and we're done. But yeah, no, I didn't make it to but I did watch Shrek 2 yesterday, coincidentally. I saw when I turned on my PS4 to just like have some like white noise in the background.
Your PS4, are you a gamer, dude? Oh my God. Do you like game and stuff? Are you
not at all?
You have a PS4, my guy?
I have a PS4, my guy. I do indeed, and I have like the 2 Spider-Man games, and that's like it. They're really fun. I really like them. So yeah, you could call me a gamer. It's like, have you ever seen those TikToks where it's like, oh, you don't like girls with tattoos, and they like show like a dot that they have, and they're like, take me off their roster.
That's so funny.
That's me with video. You don't like gamers? Take me off their roster with my like 2 Spider-Man games. So yeah, that's me. That's my joke.
My girlfriend's a gamer.
Oh my God, really? I feel like I didn't know that about her. Oh.
She's an expert at Mario Party.
Oh, okay. I did know that you guys play Mario a lot, which I love Mario Party, but wow, does it get me stressed. I get so mad when I get... Anyways. Probably should discuss this movie. Mm-hmm. But wait, what other games does she play? Oh my God, this is so not important. Oh, she's a Fortniter.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really intense. Yeah, she puts her game face on and everything. It's scary.
I don't even know what to say. But amazing. Anyways, here we are back again in the land of the tall girl, also known as New Orleans or New Orleans.
Can I just say that I really like that they based it there and that they didn't just say that it was based there, but there's actually like different parts of actual, I've never been there, but what seems like actual culture from the city shows up with like the architecture and the boats and shit, you know?
Yeah, no, they definitely like in the B-roll actually attempt to make it feel like New Orleans, even though whether or not they actually filmed there, I mean, probably not, but they did a good job of making it feel New Orleans-y.
Yeah, and Dunkers is always sweaty, which is pretty accurate for Louisiana, I would think.
Louisiana is pretty warm, I have to say. I mean, I don't know that I've ever been to Louisiana, but I mean, I used to live in the South, and it was warmer there than it is here. So they got that going for them.
They sure do got that going for them.
Before we jump into this, I just had to say one other little teeny tiny side comment. But, okay, so recently I was editing, like our last episode of the podcast, and you do a nice little Jennifer Coolidge impersonation at one point. And because of how the clips were edited, I had to keep re-listening to your Jennifer Coolidge impersonation, like back to back in a row to like get everything lined up. And it made me just realize, I had an epiphany that I just needed to let you know. Uh-huh. Jennifer Coolidge?
Yes.
Like if there was a... like Venn diagram for like people that she kind of sounds like, Carl Weezer from Jimmy Neutron would definitely be in there. Oh boy. Like there's a little bit of overlap in like, the sound of their voices. I don't know, just like as I kept hearing you do it, I was like, this is this is a little Carl Weezery. Anyways, Tall Girl 2, here we go. Mm-hmm. Oh, they do such a silly, goofy little thing at the beginning of the movie. So they give us a whole rundown of the first movie in kind of like a mockumentary style like it feels like, The Office or something where they're like talking directly to the camera and like telling a story. And it's just them like telling the story of the first movie real quick and all of that. But then we realize, silly, goofy. We were seeing the POV of a man working at a backpack store, and they were buying a backpack, and he was like, okay, it'll be $20.
Can I say something about that backpack? And please don't make fun of me.
Oh no!
But I'm pretty sure it's like a really high end camera backpack. And a alum from my college that just gave a presentation in my class runs their social media for this backpack company, and those are not $20 backpacks. I will tell you that right now.
Oh, honestly, that's a pretty interesting connection. I would have never known. Very nice.
It was a very interesting moment for me. I was like, full circle for the week. Here we go. Tall girl too, and a camera backpack.
Tall girl too. It's more relatable than you'd expect. More relatable than you'd expect. But yeah, it's just a quick little thing that they basically, it's them like gushing over like how they fell in love to a person that's just trying to get paid
disgusting
to work in customer services.
Absolutely
that really
vile.
Is what it's like. That's really what it's like working in customer services. You're just trying to get through the day and someone's telling you their life story and it's like, that's great, but I've got things to do. But I just got really scared. Like at first I was like, did they shift this whole second movie to a mockumentary style? Because I was so scared when they first started, how just being like, what did he even say? He said the classic, I know what you're thinking. How did a guy like me land a girl like her? And that's when they like go into their little spiel about the first movie. And I was like, if this is what the rest of the movie is like, I might go crazy. But luckily this is the only scene like that. But yeah, then it's very much like the little synopsis said, last time we saw Jody, she was walking with her head down. She was so scared that people would see she's tall, but now she's walking through the halls, strutting her stuff and saying hi to everybody, giving high fives. The lighting is bright, so we know it's a happy time and all is well. So yeah, she's just walking down the hall and now she's popular. And we see Mr. Stieg the Swede. They set in time that now it has been 3 months since the end of the last movie. And basically all of the friends are mad at him still, but Jodie's friends with him, whatever. And she decides to sign up to audition for Bye Bye Birdie, the new school play. And yeah, that just sets up that she's gonna audition, and then it very quickly gets to her audition, and she's singing her little heart out. She is singing. But this was like the first moment that I had to giggle, because she does her little audition, and then the audition teacher, the drama lady or whatever, she's talking to her and she brings up the homecoming speech from the end of the last movie. And
really had to bring it up so many times.
So many times. The homecoming speech is brought up more than I'm probably than we'll discuss. Like, just know that it comes up a lot in this movie where they're like, OMG girl, your homecoming speech. And it's like, okay. Does nothing else happen in this school that this is all you have to talk about? Is Jodie giving a speech. But the drama teacher basically kind of like checks her and is like, hey, have you ever like performed before? And Jodie's like, no, I haven't. But then the drama teacher's like, yeah, you have, girl. You gave a unprompted monologue at homecoming, which some people might say being tall isn't really all that bad. Like, she checks her. She's like, so you're tall. Like, is that all? Is that it? Is that your only struggle? And Jodie basically comes back and is just like, I don't even know. Jodie's response wasn't even all that moving. She's just like, I know it's not the worst thing in the world, but like, it's not fun either sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that happens.
I said in my notes, they directly called us out with that one, because our entire episode, the last time we watched Tall Girl, the original, was that our main argument was that like, it's not a real problem. There's other people with way bigger problems. I like that they addressed it, but the way that they addressed it was so stupid.
Yeah, no, it was so strange, because like any other time that her homecoming speech is like brought up in this movie, like it was even brought up before she goes into her audition. She meets this guy named Tommy, who will become important later on. He mentions her homecoming speech and is like, oh my God, I was so moved because I also used to be different. Like, everyone typically applauds her for it, but the drama teacher put her in check and was like, there are people that are starving, girl. Was it really that deep? But apparently she did a very good job with her rebuttal, because the next scene is a family dinner where we find out that Harper, her older sister, played by none other than Sabrina Carpenter, is moving to Los Angeles because she got a new job. But while she's in the middle of her announcement, Jody rudely, of course, had to make things about her, because everything is. And she gets a text from the drama teacher directly letting her know literally the same day that she got the lead of the play. So her rebuttal must have been good, because she got the lead in Bye Bye Birdie. You know, must have been pretty decent.
I love how she is like giving her entire everything to musical theater, and she's like, I'm going to Juilliard, blah, blah, blah. And she's never done it before.
Oh my God, it's like that guy on TikTok. What's his name? The one that like lives in New York?
Oh, not him.
Axel.
I fucking hate that guy. What is wrong with him?
He makes me very uncomfortable.
I think it's just he has that like Christian girl positivity about him that just really sets me off. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where I just watch him and I go, why I ought to just punch you right in the face.
Like, have you? Oh, there's also there's a TikTok account of like these black students at BYU that like interview
that's
people.
My favorite account right now. That's my favorite account right now. It's so funny.
Like, have you seen the TikTok where they were like, oh, what do you believe that gay marriage is a good thing? And there's the few that are just like, nope. But then there was one girl that literally like looks a little gay.
Yes. And she was like no.
like, yeah.
Why
Axel
would you
kind of
ask me that?
Yeah. Axel definitely gives me a little bit of a BYU student energy. But I think the thing, especially with him, like he seems like he means well and like he like doesn't mean any harm or anything. But I think the problem is he's very unaware of like he just has so much privilege in the whole thing of like, I decided to be poor in New York. Like it's a weird thing. Like I don't think he is inherently a bad person, but I think there's just like some weird things that he highlights. But anyways,
yeah, it's weird youngest child energy, and I don't support it.
Yeah.
Not as a call out to you or any youngest children.
My stepsister's younger than me, so I'm not the youngest.
It's constantly needing attention, and once you don't have any, you need to create a situation in which you get more.
Yeah,
kind of like Jody.
Yeah, I was about to say, full circle back to Jody, completely that is her. Like, the way that she constantly is like, I don't want anybody to look at me, but also I'm going to audition for the play, and also I'm not good at being in plays, but also I'm going to go to Juilliard. It's just, it's such a weird, like, I want the attention, but don't look at me, is very much who Jody is. But yeah, it's just at this family dinner, we find out she got the lead and that Harper's moving. And there's a disgusting quote from the parents where, like, once they find out that Harper is moving away and they're like, oh my God, we're losing one of our children. Should we have another one? And the mom says, I am very fertile, which, you know, never needs to be said. Never needs to be said.
Despite that, I think the parents are the best characters in this movie, not only because of the actors, because it is Angela Kinsey and Steve Zahn. And I looked up Steve Zahn, and you know where he's from?
What?
Minnesota. He grew up in Mankato.
Are you serious?
And he went to Gustavus for one semester, and he dropped out and moved. And then he went to Harvard for a graduate degree in theater, but he still owns a house in Pine City where he boats and water skis with his family. Oh, I read his entire precious. IMDb page.
Oh my God. That's so funny. I'll be damned. That is what a Minnesota
world.
I was going to say, like, what I was going to say is that in general, the parents are such better people in this one versus, like, they had a full character arc in the first movie. Like, they were horrible parents in the first movie. They honestly annoyed me so much in the first movie. But in this movie, they're like the complete opposite of what they were. Because before they were like they still were trying to be good parents, but they just weren't. But in this movie, they're just like so positive all the time. Just like, yeah, girl, we're here. We love you. Yes, girl, you go, girl. And I was like, oh, why didn't you have this energy in the first movie? Why were you guys so like, they would like kind of bully her about her height in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they also had to learn that being tall is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, but yeah, no, the parents are definitely a lot better in this one. Next thing that happens is I don't know, Jody and Dunks, Mr. Dunkelman, her boyfriend, Mr. Milk Crates, they get ice cream to celebrate that she got the lead in the play, and someone tell me why Jake from State Farm was behind them in line and like makes a tall joke like digging at Jody. I was like, where did this come from? And he doesn't even mention anything about State Farm. I was like, why is he here? If not for paid promo, like, are you trying to tell me this man is an actor outside of his State Farm gig? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, it would be like if Flo from Progressive showed up.
No.
Honestly, I like him though.
I do like him. However, I have heard that the actress that plays Flo is apparently a little mean. I've heard that she's mean.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that, Grace.
I've heard that she's very entitled, and the fact that she makes a lot of money from Flo has gone directly to her head.
I don't need to know that.
That's what I've heard. Well, if I had to know it, now you do too. Every time I see her in commercials, I'm like, I used to root for you, but I've heard you're a meanie.
Dang. Well, my allegiance for commercials has switched to Allstate because of their "Don't Be Like Your Parents" commercials. Which I say is don't be like a geezer from St. Paul commercials, because that's exactly who those people embody. And we can move on from that because I know people get very offended, especially people from St. Paul.
I love those parent ones. It very much, there's a lot of them that reflect, especially my father. But anyway,
it's so funny. Oh my God.
But yeah, so they get ice cream with Jake from State Farm just heckling.
Can we pause again to mention that your dad's initials are Dad?
Yeah, my dad's initials are Dad. He is the ultimate dad of a dad.
No wonder he is such a stereotypical dad.
Yeah, it is. Being a dad is very much his whole personality, and you know what?
That's amazing.
It was set up from birth. He had no choice but to be a dad with the DAD initials. But yeah, Jake from State Farm heckles her, and basically in this moment, Dunks just tries to kind of be like, OMG girl, I'm so proud of you. You're like totally doing the thing. You're like doing what you've always wanted to. Yippee-ki-yay. But you kind of see that for the first time she was like, oh yeah, this is kind of a scary thing that I'm doing. And the anxiety starts to set in. And then right away in the next scene, she's brushing her teeth. And guess what? The anxiety starts to really take a hold on her. And basically there's a bunch of these moments throughout the movie where there's just, like a voiceover of Jody where it's like supposed to be the voice in her head. And every time it happens, I just said, the meanie voice is back and being mean. Because it's basically, just her anxiety speaking to her, being like, you don't deserve this. You're gonna botch it. You're gonna do horribly. And yeah. So basically, if the first movie, her issue that she was dealing with the whole entire time was being tall, this time around it's anxiety that she deals with. It's like the main thing. But yeah, this is like the first instance where it kind of happens, and in the next scene she's kind of talking to
sorry, Marzipan is back.
Oh, Marzipan, never apologize.
I really want her to talk into the microphone. How are you doing today, Marzi? Did you like Tall Girl 2? We watched it together. We got a lick. We got a tiny lick.
Oh, I love it. But, oh, God, Marzipan, I love it. Yeah, next scene is just Harper giving her some advice about dealing with anxiety, but it's like, oh, I've never dealt with anxiety, but I've heard it's bad, basically. I only mention this scene honestly because there's just like one quick little funny little joke in there. Because I was watching this with Callista in the room. She wasn't fully paying attention, but she heard this line and it was very funny, and I feel like it should be mentioned. Basically, regarding anxiety and like the negative self-talk in your head, she says that you can't get rid of it. It's just a horrible part of life that never goes away, like Maroon 5. We love a good dunk on Maroon 5 every now and then. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Maroon 5's not that bad.
Depends the song. Song to song basis.
On the song and their era. I have a favorite. I can't remember what it's called. Never mind. There are some good ones, but I can also see why people make fun of them and just Adam Levine in general.
I was gonna say, I feel like a lot of it is just like Adam Levine himself makes me feel a little uncomfy. I feel like he's a little too, I don't know.
Much.
A little too much. Also, it's just he's not for our generation in the sense that like I feel like he's like for all like 40 to 50-year-old women, it's like, oh my God, he is the hottest thing that's ever existed. Yes. But like, I'm a lesbian in my 20s, so I'm not the demographic. But yeah,
Harder to Breathe. The song was Harder to Breathe. That's my favorite Maroon 5 song.
Of course, it's not like Sunday Morning or something. What do you know?
What is Sunday Morning?
Well, Sunday morning, rain is falling.
Oh, no.
That one. Well, I'm just saying that one was popular and well known. So of course you're like,
so was Harder to Breathe.
Which one is that? Wait, give us a little snippet.
Oh God. It starts out with a it's very guitar heavy. And he goes, how dare you say that my behavior is unacceptable?
Honestly, I'm shocked that you don't. I would have thought that you would have immediately just been like, gag, I hate Maroon 5. This is a shock.
That's a great song.
All right. I mean, take it or leave it. But yeah, I think Maroon 5. I just thought it was a silly, goofy little joke. I don't know. Throw away. But
toss it out.
It's toss it. But then there is. Next scene, we get some of the drama is set up because Kimmy, the bully from the first movie, is back and she is pissed as all hell that she wasn't given the lead. She is Jodie's understudy. And she literally like barges into the bathroom when the drama teacher's in there and is like, you will rue the day, basically. And tries to go to what? What happened?
That scene really reminded me of the scene in Glee.
I knew it was gonna be Glee. I knew you were gonna bring it back to Glee when Rachel and Sunshine are
taking telephone.
Hello, baby, and then Sue. So my favorite part of like the whole show. It literally, that's like my favorite part of. That's like my favorite, just stupid little throwaway joke of the whole entire show is just Sue then walking and just being like, "Shut up." Just shut up. Stop it. But yeah, I didn't even think of that, but I knew where you were going immediately when you said it.
Oh. Why can't you stream Glee anywhere? I'm so mad about it. I am so upset.
It was on Netflix. Where is it? Is it nowhere anywhere? It
went bye-bye. I don't
everywhere?
Yeah, I think you have to have like a Fox premium subscription, and I don't need to support them. You know what I mean? It'll come back to something sometime, probably Hulu or something.
Yeah, probably Hulu at some point. God, I need access to Glee at some point, but I also don't want to like pay more money to someone to get it. Oh, Glee. Ridiculous. Anyways, always got to have a Glee reference somehow. Got to just tie it back to the original scriptures. But yeah, basically... I mean, what?
I do feel like a Glee missionary sometimes.
I mean, what? The straight people use the Bible. What are we supposed to use for scripture? Glee, obviously. Obviously.
Yeah, Glee or Drag Race for sure. I feel like there's a lot of hidden gay jokes in Drag Race.
Oh, for
which
sure.
Which Stieg would understand.
Oh, yes, he would. We will
that's
get
all
that in
Stieg
like 2
did
seconds.
Over the summer was watch Drag Race.
Oh, no, it wasn't Drag Race. It was Queer Eye.
Oh,
because of course it has to be a Netflix show. But basically this scene just sets up that like Kimmy's going to give her heck again and watch out. Here's the drama. But then, yeah, Farida, Stieg, and Jodie and Dunkers are at a store. And this is the moment where Stieg basically lets us all know, hey guys, Queer Eye's on Netflix. Watch it now.
I really thought this was going to be his coming out arc.
You would have thought. But no. Basically, the only thing that really happens, and it's such a tiny little subplot, but Basically, everyone keeps asking Jody where she got her clothes. The clothes was made by Farida. And when they're at the store, then the store owner's like, OMG, girl, I'll put some of your clothes on one of the racks. That's basically what happens. It'll kind of come back later, but I don't know that it's really all that important. But then we're finally at the first rehearsal for Jody being in the play. And her meanie voice in her head is being a meanie yet again and throwing her off, and she literally kicks someone in the face while she's trying to dance. And I made a little note of it. I was like, okay, but listen here. Jody, the actress for Jody, was originally on Dance Moms, and I know we mentioned this before, but I'm out here like, after all those years and you're still out here kicking people in the face. Come on. Come on. You got too much experience to be out here doing things willy-nilly like that. But yeah, basically her first rehearsal goes bad. And I guess I should mention again, like that Tommy guy that I mentioned earlier, he kind of, he got the male lead for the play. So in this scene, it kind of sets up like, oh, they're going to be spending a lot of time together and they're going to become really good friends. That's basically all that is important about that. And yeah, he just kind of helps her through rehearsal. But then, yeah, Kimmy tries to get in her head. It's a horrible first day, basically. That ends with her spilling smoothie all over a piano and ruining it, which, how nice. But then, yeah, next scene, it is the 3-year anniversary of Jody and Mr. Dunkelman.
It was 3 months.
Did I say year?
Yes.
No. I was incorrect. I made a whoopsie. I am so sorry.
They've had a U-Haul relationship, and they've been together for 3 months, and you would think they'd been married for 8 years.
You would think. You really, really would, because this man was making a turducken for the occasion. A turducken. Of course, he burned it at first, but then Stieg jumps in and helps.
Yeah, I said there's no way his Capricorn ass is that bad at cooking, because you know that he would have he would have 8,000 timers set for everything. And
did he mention he was a Capricorn?
No, I just have a sense that he's some kind of earth sign, probably not a Taurus. Probably a Capricorn.
I love how you just like decided he's a Capricorn. You're like, yep, well, as a Capricorn, he shouldn't have done that.
I don't know what else he would be.
I don't know either. Honestly, I just know about Virgos having tummy problems. That's mostly my knowledge. But yeah, it's their 3-month anniversary. Very sorry for my journalistic integrity being broken just now when I lied to you all. But yeah, month. And the drama of it all. First of all, of course, turducken. Wow, that's a lot. But then there's like 1,000 candles lit in this house. I was like, it will go up in flames if anyone so much as sneezes in there.
Marzipan!
What happened? Oh my God, she's on the counter.
She's eating flowers. Hang on.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, Marzipan,
I had some flowers. I had some flowers on my counter, and part of it is like a big clump of baby's breath, and she just wants to eat it. And I told her, just because it's called baby's breath doesn't mean that's what you need to freshen your breath with, you little baby. And she just won't listen to me.
It sounded like you said baby breast. Oh, dear God, Marzipan, what are you doing? No need.
Oh, God. Anyway,
basically everything goes up in flames, pardon the pun. Because basically Jody is still, like, all she can think about is how nervous she is for the play. And she's very distracted during what's supposed to be a very romantic dinner. And Mr. Dunkles, Mr. Dinker Dankle Dunkle, basically is like, oh, like, don't worry about it, girly. Like, if you need to go so that you can go rehearse, if that'll help you clear your head, then, like, go ahead. And she's like, okay, cool. So she, like, gets up to leave. And then he was like, excuse me? How dare you? How dare you? And they basically get into this huge fight, but she leaves anyways. Goes home, confides in her parents and her bestie and Frida and her sister, and they're all basically like, stand your ground, girl. Don't you dare even try to resolve this. Just be firm. And we also find out that the mom is on TikTok, which, how fun. But yeah, then the next day, everything hits the fan because, of course, both sides are in a standoff. Neither of them want to admit that anything is wrong. Neither of them want to admit that they could have been in the wrong. And instead of trying to fix things, they literally just break up in the middle of lunch. And once they do, Dunkelman literally tears an orange in half with his bare hands. Wow, what a mighty man he is. And he literally then just is like, why did I do this? I love citrus, and leaves. Like, man, if I was in the middle of a breakup with somebody and they just like tore an orange and said, I love citrus.
It was
like,
very Disney Channel.
Yeah, and again, it's another one of those, like, you're trying to like weasel in a joke at a point where like you didn't need to, and it's just I don't know. I mean, it's stupid. It's a throwaway joke, but it was just, I was just like, what? Who in the middle of a breakup? Yeah, I don't know. But then he gets a text from his father saying that he's there, and he's like, oh my goodness. Because he's like, why is my dad at school? Did something bad happen? Come to find out, Stieg, who still lives with Dunks, by the way, just a reminder for you all, he lives with Dunks. Stieg's sister is now in town and living with them for I don't know how long. But basically, this sets up a little love triangle that literally doesn't even exist, because, you know, they're freshly broken up. And marzipan. Marzipan. But basically, there's a love triangle that, again, doesn't even exist because Jody now is very insecure because she's like, oh my gosh, this pretty girl is now about to live with Dunkel, my new ex, and she's so pretty. But she doesn't even know that Stella's Stieg's sister's name, by the way. Stella literally has a boyfriend that she very soon will break up with, but like is still emotionally very attached to. So basically, like, so much of this movie is basically set up on the premise that Dunk and Jody just like never fully talk. Once they like abruptly break up, they just never really talk to each other. So it's like a bunch of just like missed connections where it's like if you literally had just sat down for more than 3 minutes to discuss your breakup, you would have both realized that you both didn't want to break up, and we could have saved so much time in everyone's life. Because yeah, that's literally one of the plot points is just that Jody's like, oh my God, they're totally together, but they're not at all. And she would have known that if she had talked to him, you know, or her. If she had talked to Stella for like 5 minutes. But
yeah, but is that not how high school stuff works?
I mean, I didn't really date much in high school, so I wouldn't have as much experience. But yeah, it is very high school to like have all of these just like, well, but like if you had just talked, if you had literally just discussed things. What's the other show I have that with? Oh, Selling Sunset on Netflix. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh. I zoomed right through it real quickly. But
I should watch it. I need a new reality show because
it's good.
I watched all of Hoarders that's available on Hulu, and then I watched Wife Swap, and that one I think just made me a little bit too stressed at times.
Yeah.
And now I just need something that's a little more lighthearted.
Oh, yeah, no. Selling Sunset's good. There's also a new Selling spinoff. I forget where it's for, but I'm excited for that one. A lot of people really like the spinoff one, too. But also, have you ever seen Love is Blind?
No, but I've seen like little clips of it, and I know Mr. Cocaine Guy.
Oh.
You know that guy that like shows his teeth a lot?
His name, I think, his name's, it starts with an S. I literally just finished it the other day. Hold on. Shane. His name's Shane. Shane. But yeah, you should watch that one too. That one's a really good one. And it's got 2 seasons, so Anyways, but yeah, I get really stressed out when I watch Survivor. A lot of times when I watch Survivor, I have to like take a breather for like a month or two before I can watch another season because, oh my God, I get so stressed out. I get very invested. It's really good, but oh my God, it emotionally drains me. Oh my God. Because it's always the people that I want to win literally never win. And the people that I hate always win. And it gets so annoying. But anyways, where were we in Tall Girl? Yeah, Stella's introduced, but yeah. So now there's a new character involved where Jody is now feeling all insecure because she's like, oh, I want Dunks back, but I don't want to admit it. But he seems like he's moved on with this new girl. Yada, yada. You know, that kind of blender of emotions. And then it's just Dunks, Stella and Stieg walking around. And basically the only thing that's important from that is just that like for between like the first and second movie, for those 3 months in between, they try to kind of set up that like Jody again was the only one that was willing to be friends with Stieg. But at this point we see a shift where now Dunks is bonding with Stieg and good friends with him. So now he's in with him. I'm not even mentioning that scene. It was so stupid. Then there was the mean voice is back in her head and being mean while she's walking through the hallway. And it is very much a juxtaposition to the opening scene. Oh my goodness, Martha! Not her booty hole.
Yeah,
absolutely
not. I don't need to embarrass her. She just jumped on the table and is showing her bum to the camera, and I need to block it because that's my baby. I don't need anybody looking at sensitive areas of my cat.
Oh, goodness gracious. And little does she know how many people would see it.
Tens of people.
Tens of them. Hey, our last TikTok that I made last night went pretty viral, if I do say so myself. Oh, yeah, by the way, follow us on social media. Everybody, do it. Like, I dare you. Anyways. But yeah, it's basically just a little moment where, you know, now she's walking through the halls and she's kind of cowering like she did in the first movie. The lighting is kind of blue. And so you can tell she's very upset. She's very upset and very anxious. Then we cut to Tommy and Jody talking again. Tommy's the guy that plays the male lead in the play. And
he looks like my dad.
What?
He looks like my father in my baby pictures, and it really freaks me out a little bit. Yes.
I would have never really made that connection because also your dad wasn't like I haven't like seen him a lot of times.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him a lot.
I've seen him my whole life. And
you have experience.
Yeah, that kind of freaked me out a little bit because Mr. Conrad, Tommy looks like my father.
Oh my goodness, Tommy, who let you do that? You're not supposed to look like Taya's father. That's very rude of you. Taya's father was here first.
He was
here first. Messed up. But basically, they have a little mini bonding moment. Again, her homecoming speech is brought up, and he's like, "Aw, you were so inspiring." And like, I so totally related to it. And yeah, they just kind of bond a little bit. And then it cuts to them hanging out outside of school. They are at a putt-putt course. And he basically brings her there to let her know why he related to her homecoming speech. And is like, you say that you're different because you're tall? Well, I used to be overweight. And kids used to call me Tommypotamus. Specifically in this location because when he'd go down the slide, they would call him that. I don't know. And of course, such a woke moment there where Jody's like, I never realized that men could have weight issues. I suppose they can. And I'm like, yes, girl, this is the truth. But basically then, you know, they're getting real close and they kiss. They kiss. And of course, this is like so fresh after the breakup, the drama of it all. But before they kiss, but what kind of leads up to this kiss is that they start dancing in the middle of this putt-putt course. They are very much giving me theater children at a Denny's post-show.
Oh, God.
That's all I could think of. I was like, the two leads of the school musicale are out here dancing in the middle of a putt-putt course. And I feel like it was the POV of like what those, you know what video I'm talking about, like the one of all of the kids at a Denny's that like circulates throughout Twitter like once a year.
Yes.
Like I feel like this scene of them dancing is like what those kids in Denny's thought they looked like, you know, like super well produced, spinning around, like woof.
Yee doggy.
Yeah, all I could think about was that just all those kids around the tables at Denny's.
No. Sit down, eat your pancakes, and go home.
Oh, wouldn't you know about it? Taya here was in a play or two back in the day.
I was.
Except at our school, we didn't go to Denny's. We went to Baker Square. So,
and we had pie.
Yeah, so it was a little different. We were a little quirkier in a different way. Yeah. But yeah, so basically, like, despite the fact that, you know, she and Dunkles have recently broken up, she feels very, very weird and very guilty about it. And the next day, she tells Frida about it and basically is like, oh, I have to tell him. And that's the end of that scene. There are so many scenes in this movie, just little side note, that I felt like could have just been combined into one. Where it was like, this scene of her talking to Frida was maybe like 1 minute long. They could have just like been talking about this as they were in the hallway right before they walked into the class, where she then tells Dunks about the kiss. Like it didn't need to be like a whole separate walk that they had like days before. I don't know. But yeah, they used a lot of time setting up scenes in different locations. But yeah, basically then Jody then does tell him about the kiss the next day. And it's one of those moments where, like, you know, he was about to admit that he wanted to get back together with her, and she says like, oh, I have something to tell you, and he says, you go first, and she tells him that she kissed someone, and then he gets all mad and he storms out. But also in the background, Farida and Stieg are becoming better friends. I don't really feel like going into the details of that, but basically now they're friends. Yeah, so now Mr. Dunkers knows that that's happened, and he's very upset. He's very upset.
He's very mad.
Oh, he's so mad. And he goes home and he just immediately starts throwing out everything that has to do with Jody, including a miniature giraffe, which, wowzers, if I was insecure about being tall and you had giraffes around your room to remind you of me, I would hate you. I would immediately not like you, personally. But yeah, he gets all mad, and in the same moment that he's all mad about his breakup, this is when Stella and her boyfriend back in Sweden break up. And they basically decide that as a duo, they're gonna help each other, like, stay away from their exes. Is the whole deal. Is they're a duo, and they're gonna make their exes mad. So Mr. Dunkers has a camera that Jody gave him multiple years before, and
he said it was the camera that she bought him when he was 15.
Yeah,
this camera is a Nikon Z7.
I was wondering if you knew.
It is $2,000. And if they're using the same timeline from when the first movie came out in 2019, the math wouldn't have been correct, because this camera did not exist when he was 15 if we're still keeping the 2019 timeline. That was just a really in-depth detail that I came across while watching the movie, and it did bring me out of it for a minute, I will say. The Nikon Z7 did bring me out of the movie.
But I get it. That was me with Bend It Like Beckham. Every time they had a soccer reference that was just like slightly incorrect, I was like, that's not true. That's not accurate.
It's the main camera that my studio photography teacher uses on a regular basis. So it's their highest end mirrorless camera, and there's no way that a high schooler would have given a $2,000 camera to another high school student for their birthday. Quick plug.
Woof. Big woof. I honestly was curious if you knew what kind of camera it was, because in general, I was like, a DSLR camera would be a very expensive gift, like no matter which one it was. But
yes,
of course it was obviously a $2,000 one.
Yeah, it's obviously a product placement.
Yeah.
And the photos that they allegedly took with it are definitely iPhone photos.
Oh, for sure.
And they're all out of focus.
Yeah, it's completely like it was totally just they needed to get a camera into the movie somehow. And basically the camera, he decides to then use it for a bunch of Instagram story pictures. Literally, he has a $2,000 camera and he's using it to take pictures of him and Stella to put on their Instagram stories to make their exes jealous. Screaming and crying. Absolutely, what is going on, you guys? They're like doing yoga. They're on scooters. Wow, is Jodie jealous? Oh, and Jodie is so jealous. She literally, she sees the picture of them doing yoga and she was like, oh, he has a weak core. He doesn't like yoga. I was like, oh, drag him. Anyways.
As you should. Drag every man, no matter if they're your boyfriend or not.
Oh, for sure. Next thing, just another moment of Jodie trying to get advice from Harper, and Harper's like, go talk to him at his house. And she goes to his house, and it's yet another one of those things where it's like, she tries to talk to him, but he ends the conversation after like 2 sentences. And of course, then the conversation goes nowhere and they're both still lost. Like, this is just one of the many moments where it's like Jodie tries to talk to him, but he's trying so hard to be cool that like they don't fix their problems. And yeah, it's so weird though. Like in this moment where she's like at his house for 2 seconds, Stella's also there and they're both wearing plaid. And he's like, yeah, we're trying to start something. And I said, excuse me, the lesbians have already laid claim on the plaid. Actually, back up. He's out here like, oh, I'm trying to start something. Well, the lesbians have already done it. Oh, culture vulture. Anyways.
Culture vulture. Oh boy.
In a whoosies. Then Jodie's at school the next day, and basically she talks to Tommy about their kiss, and it's just like, I cannot, and he's very understanding about it. It's whatever. But he brings up a party where I guess before it's a weird like tradition with the drama club that they burn things the night before their first show to release any anxieties, tensions, energies that they don't like before the show. And then the next scene is them at that party. And it was just such a weird transition for me. They immediately jump into that party that they just told us about 2 seconds ago. And it's just this girl being like, my dad literally never comes to the plays and always tells me he's going to and sends me a postcard when he doesn't come, so I'm burning them all. And I was just like, oh, did we need to introduce this whole other girl and her trimmer? It's just
theater
so funny
kids are dramatic.
I mean, it's in the title.
Dramatic. It did not surprise me that they just went a little too deep.
Yeah, no, just out of nowhere, this girl's just like, I have daddy issues. And it's like, oh, okay. But then Mr. Tommy goes, basically reminds everyone that he used to be overweight and burns a Hawaiian t-shirt he used to wear. And Jodie goes next. And she decides to burn the size 13 platform shoes that Mr. Dunkles had gotten her for homecoming. Oh my God. But as soon as she puts them in the flames, she immediately regrets it. And Kimmy basically has her whole character arc in approximately 2 seconds. Like, she literally had just been bullying Jodie 2 minutes before, but then all of a sudden, like, sees that Jodie doesn't want the shoes to burn and whips them out of the fire and is like, I've got you, girl. And now suddenly is just nice to her for the rest of the movie. Like, there was absolutely, it went from, I'm gonna bully the drama teacher in the bathroom to, OMG, Jodie, I love you. I would never want you to feel pain. In 2 seconds. Very
dramatic.
Yeah. But basically, I think this moment was just to show, like, OMG, she does want dunkers after all, you know. But while she's at this party, it's also Farida's birthday. And therefore, Miss Jodie is double booked and she is very late for Farida's birthday shenanigans at a hibachi restaurant where we meet Farida's parents for the first time, which, excuse me, I, go on IMDb before I watch these movies. and I write down all the character names. Tell me why absolutely every single character, even people on the, like, in the drama club that literally speak once, they all have names. But Farida's parents are literally just called Farida's mom and Farida's dad. They didn't give those characters names at all. And I was like, really?
Did
really?
Campfire Girl have a name?
I think so. I mean, there was a bunch of names that were just like a first name. So I feel like Campfire Girl was one of them, but
rude.
Literally the parents just didn't have names. But there's brief conversation about the parents being like, great for you for having clothes in that store, but you need to go to medical school. And Stieg is like, let her express herself. And Dunks is like, of course Jodie's not here. And Farida and Stieg have a bonding moment because Stieg has always been scared to perform in front of people. So Farida decides to have them sing ABBA in front of everybody, which brings him out of his shell. And then guess what, you guys?
What?
Stieg and Farida kiss in the parking lot.
They kiss in the parking lot. Oh, no. Oh, we broke the girl code.
Broke the girl code. And of course, it was just the most shocking turn of events because Farida's the one that hated him the most. And now look at her kissing him. Oh, my God. It was very expected. If you watch this movie, that is the joke of it all, is that it was a very expected plot twist that was not surprising at all.
And then Jodie was a bitch and showed up to Farida's birthday after they had finished dinner, but Farida's preoccupied by this because she just kissed Jodie's quote-unquote ex-boyfriend. So she's like, it's okay.
I'm very forgiving.
You didn't need
it's
to
okay.
show up on time. As long as you brought me a present, that's okay.
Yeah.
But again, Jodie is the worst character of all time.
So horrible. And Farida forever deserves better. Like, at least in this movie, she's in the movie for more than 30 seconds. And, like, she has Dunks and Stieg, like, to be friends to her as well. Because Jodie is nowhere to be seen forever. She's always just so busy being self-involved. Like, she's the worst friend. She's literally the worst friend ever. Always.
She has to work on getting into Juilliard.
Yeah, because apparently that's something she wants, despite the fact that she... Whatever. It's always got to be Juilliard, huh? It's always got to be Juilliard.
And but in the last, not the last season, the season of Glee, when Kurt and Rachel are seniors, they go to see Miss Pillsbury, and Miss Pillsbury goes, "Hey, Juilliard does not have musical theater." And they're like, what?
Are you serious?
Why do we keep, in movies, why do we keep saying that everybody's going to go to Juilliard when they don't even have musical theater? It's like dance or something. There's no, like, combination of the two.
Yeah, I think it's just because, like, in general, it's, like, the art school people know about. But, like, you could introduce a school real quick, and then people will know, hey, that's the art school they want to go to. I don't know. Hold on. This light is so in my face.
Hold on. We are getting the most beautiful March sunset right now in Minnesota. And it's not working great for all of our cameras. We've got a sunburst. So I'm kind of blocking it with my hand because my shades are just going to be too much. But if you're wondering, if you're watching the video, that's what's going on. We are being attacked by the sun.
We are indeed. But yeah, then, you know, she immediately leaves because the party is literally already over. But before she leaves, she sees Dunks and Stella singing what is supposedly their song. And it's a Backstreet Boys song. I already forget which one it is. And I literally watched the second half of the movie today. But As Long As You Love Me, that's what it was. But so she's like, oh my God, he really has moved on, and is all sad and leaves. And then when she's driving home with her parents, she has a panic attack. Oh my God. She has a panic attack, and her mom helps her through it and is like, girl, I got you. Just remember that it's temporary. It will go away. All is well. And it helps get her out of it. So she finally learns how to kind of deal with her anxiety, which is so great. Love it, love it, love it. And then, you know, Jodie and Harper have yet another sister bonding moment. And basically, Jodie finds out that, oh my God, Harper has experienced anxiety. Oh my goodness. Wow. How surprising.
Wow, never saw that coming.
Yeah, and then there's another throwaway scene that's so incredibly unimportant of just Dunks and Stieg talking. Stieg tells Dunks that he kissed Farida, and they decide that Stieg is going to stay for the summer.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's all going to be pretty predictable where, you know, we have everybody's making up and everybody's doing well. Miss Gurley has another panic attack before the play starts. She does just fine. She almost forgets her line in between. She sings in cursive and the movie's done.
My God, yes. Yes, she sings in cursive. My note for during the school play is, we have bananas and ivy cacti. That's what I wrote down on my notes for during the play. But yeah, there's just a bunch of scenes of her singing that I put on double speed, and Kimmy is helpful in the wings. So it's like basically it just shows like, oh, she's learned how to live with her anxiety. Like she's not able to fully shut it up, but she can manage. Yay.
Yes.
Yeehaw. And then at the end, of course, you know, everybody's making up. Everything's good, grand, fun and dandy. Dunks comes to the dressing room at the end and is like, look at these pictures I took during the show. And they basically both admit that they still really like each other, even love each other. They kiss, all's good. There's a party after the show, and wow, wee wow. Everyone's happy and together and in love, and the movie is done. Like, it's such a... That's why it's like I said earlier, I'm not mad at the movie the way that I was mad at the first Tall Girl, but everything was so predictable and just empty. Like literally this whole movie was just like, oh, they broke up and won't talk about it. That's like it. And oh, she has anxiety now. Which like, I mean, yeah, relatable. I don't know. Like, I don't feel like I really got anything from it, but I mean, it's Tall Girl 2. What was I expecting to get from it, I suppose? What are your thoughts? How did you feel at the end of watching it?
You know, I'm going to give it a nice 5.5 camera backpacks out of 10.
Damn.
It was better than the other one. The other one I gave it like a -1 billion or something.
Well, yeah.
But I thought like this one had like a little bit of substance. Like I wouldn't not want like a 10 or 11-year-old to watch it. You know what I mean?
I suppose. I think for my rating, I'd give it like a 4.5 dinkle dankles out of 10. Just because, again, I typically try to think of would I rewatch this, and that's my level of a 5. And I don't think it's horrible.
A 6 was a rewatch for me.
No, for me a 5 is. But if a 6 is for you, then that would explain your score. But yeah, I typically think of like a 5 as I would rewatch. Maybe a 6 is a better for rewatch because that's like over a 50%. My whole ratios are off now. But then if 6 is the marker of will I rewatch, then yeah, I would also say like a 5 or a 5.5 because it wasn't bad, but I don't want to see it again. It just felt it was a little bit better in the sense that, you know, I'm not mad, but I don't feel like I got anything. You know, you typically want to feel like you just watched something when you watch something, but I feel like it happened and it immediately disappeared. It just like washed right over my head. But yeah, it was fine, but no. I feel like I would hate it a lot more the second time. I feel like if I had to watch it a second time, I'd then be like 2 out of 10 because once you
start
already
thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, and if you already know what's going to happen, even though it's a very predictable movie, if you fully know what's going to happen before it happens, it would be a horrible experience. So It's not rewatchable, but yeah, 5 out of 10 dunker dankles if it's 6 is the rewatching point.
It was better than the first one.
Which, you know, I was so scared it wasn't going to be. If it had been worse, oh my goodness. But yeah, do you have any idea for a movie for next week?
I don't have any ideas. I'm out of them. I have none. I could quickly open my, you know, where I find all the gems.
Oh yeah,
is on YouTube.
Free YouTube movies.
Oh yes, I love the free YouTube movies.
There was that one movie that I found that one time. It's not free on YouTube, but you can watch it on YouTube. The one that was like, oh, wait a minute, we're so unprepared.
Wait, can I tell you something that I've been obsessed with on YouTube?
What?
My most recent YouTube obsession has been freezer meal moms.
What?
My freezer meal moms. They're these moms. Oh my God, Grace. They are these mothers. They typically have at least 8 children, and they bulk make like 40 to 60 meals at a time that they then freeze and like eat throughout the month. I am fascinated. My favorite one is, I believe her name is Geraldine Stewart. What's her name? God, I don't want to get it wrong because I really need our listeners to understand. Jamaril. Her name is Jamaril Stewart. She lives in Virginia.
Yeah, she does.
She shows her grocery shopping process and then her making these meals in these bowls that are massive, and then she is so funny. I love her. I love her so much. I cannot stop watching these videos. I have no children. I'm 22. My grocery budget is like her weekly grocery budget is my grocery budget for a year.
Yeah, probably.
It is fascinating. Anyway,
oh God, I had never heard of these. I had never heard of these. I've got to be fully frank and honest with you. I had never heard of these freezer meal moms.
I love freezer meal moms.
Oh God. Oh no.
Anyway,
well, are you seeing anything?
So I have, what have we got here in my watch later?
Oh no.
We've got a cheeky little Confessions of a Shopaholic. We have Queen of Versailles or The Nanny Diaries, which are all classics.
Oh, well, I honestly don't know any of those off the top of my head. If you want to...
We got to do Confessions of a Shopaholic because I remember seeing the commercials for that when I was younger and knowing that it was a movie that I would want to watch as an adult because my mom wouldn't let me watch it when I was young.
Well, then here we are.
I don't remember anything about it, so I don't know if it's going to be terrible. It probably will be, but I love Isla Fisher.
Well, here we go. Confessions of a Shopaholic is up next, so everybody get ready to rumble, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Follow us at the U-Haulmark Pod on Twitter, and just U-Haulmark Pod on both Instagram and TikTok. We love you all, and yeah, we'll see you later.
Good night.
Good night.